Hey guys, Liam Sheriff here from liamsheriff.com and co-owner of Explosive Fitness. And in today's video, I'm obviously standing here next to a little whiteboard, and this is because we're going to talk about metabolism, and we're going to talk about how to maximise the fat loss effect from your metabolism. Okay, and just before we get on to drawing a graph and explain a little bit more detail later on, I'm going to explain for you what metabolism is, because you know, when we're coaches and we're obviously used to dealing with the terminology around anatomy and physiology and nutrition and training and everything else, we sometimes forget that, you know, for the layman person who's maybe interested in losing weight, you might not necessarily be interested in a graph about metabolism, okay? But it's important for you to understand how it works, at least in principle, so that you can get the most out of it and then you can get the best possible fat loss result. Now, to kind of clarify what metabolism is, it's basically the amount of calories, your metabolic rate is the amount of calories that you burn at rest, okay, without any exercise, without doing anything, at rest in any given day. Your metabolic rate is roughly the amount of calories that you burn at rest, okay. So everybody has it, obviously depending on your size, depending on your shape, depending on your weight, everybody has a different metabolic rate. And you know, if your metabolic rate as it is at the moment is what needs to happen, okay, so you need to burn that amount of calories to maintain the size that you are at the moment. Okay, and this is why if you increase your calories, you gain weight, and if you reduce your calories, you lose weight. As a general rule, I don't really like talking about calories in terms of losing weight, simply because when people kind of go on calorie restrictive diets, they generally take out a lot of sort of good fats and proteins perhaps, and they don't replace them with anything as healthy, okay, and they often go for low fat products which have more sugar in, which just have equally as much calories. But again, we're not going to talk too much about nutrition today, but when we're talking about calories in this video, it's all about relative to metabolism, okay. So just to clarify, your metabolic rate is the amount of calories you need to burn to maintain the size that you are at the moment, okay. So obviously everybody's different because everyone's different sizes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to help you understand how to make the most out of your metabolism, and to kind of understand in terms of an efficiency point of view, the more efficient your metabolism is, okay, or sorry, the more efficient your exercise is, the better you can work the metabolism, okay. And naturally the most efficient or the best scenario for you would be to exercise as little as possible, but to elevate your metabolism or your metabolic rate as high as possible for as long as possible, okay. You know, if I said to you, you know, do you want to work out for 5 hours this week and burn, you know, thousands of calories, 2,000 calories or whatever, or do you want to work out for 1.5 hours this week and burn 2,000 calories, you know, you're obviously going to choose the smaller one. So to go for something that is the most efficient, to be efficient at burning fat and to maximise your metabolism, okay, for fat burning, then you basically want to work out as little as possible, okay, but burn as much as possible, okay. So we're going to draw the graph and we're going to explain a little bit more. So just to let you know what we've got metabolic rate versus time here, just for argument's sake. This isn't a science lesson as such, so you know, we are going to generalise the whole thing, but if this was time, we've got midnight, midday, and obviously midnight again there. Up here is your metabolic rate, and this little thing that you probably can't really see very much, I definitely need a bigger whiteboard, is something called basal metabolic rate or resting metabolic rate, which is just basically what we've talked about before. That is your metabolic rate at rest when you're not exercising, okay. So that's the rate that your metabolism sets off at every single day before you do any exercise. So I'm just going to draw this in a little bit. You see, I hope you can see the line. If you can't, just, you know, comment below. I'm sure I can draw this up on a computer and send it out. Okay. When you get up in the morning, let's say your metabolism, obviously it's not going to be perfectly straight like that, you're going to have ups and downs, but let's just for argument's sake say it is that rate, okay, it doesn't matter about the number, and then at 10 o'clock in the morning you decide to work out. Obviously when you work out you increase your metabolism and then you start burning more fat, so from there you go up like that, okay, you work out for an hour, say 45 minutes to an hour, and what we've got from there is a period where you're obviously going to be burning fat, okay. So 10 o'clock training starts, you know, peak metabolism during the session, 45 minutes in, 30 minutes in, whatever it is, and then for this period here, that's all when your metabolism's obviously higher than it was beforehand. Now this is good, obviously, because you're burning more calories. So for this 45 minutes or whatever it may be, you're burning more calories. Once you finish the exercise, your metabolism tends to do something like this. So it'll peak, and then it'll start to come back down when you finish. And then what happens is it slowly comes back down, right the way back down to the rest of the metabolic rate. You know, and depending on which type of exercise, which we'll talk about in a second, you'll get, you know, something that may last a few hours, may last 8 hours or so, or may last up to 24, 36 hours. The good thing about this is once your exercise training session's finished, this period here is something that's called the EPOC, or you might have heard it as the afterburn period or the afterburn effect. And basically what this is, EPOC is an acronym for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which is a fancy term for saying the amount of calories that you burn after your workout. And this then, during the workout, then after the workout, is for how long your metabolic rate is going to be higher than it is normally. And the good thing about this is the longer you can keep it high, the more fat you're going to burn. Okay, because if, you know, as we said before, if your metabolism was just that all day, that long line, then you're not going to burn anywhere near as much fat that day as you would, you know, when you spike it up like that and you have this long period of hours worth of fat burning. Okay, and I hope this is making sense. So essentially what you want to do to get the most out of your metabolism and to maximise your fat loss is not only, you don't want to end up training for more hours, because you'll only get like a peak really in sort of things like testosterone and growth hormone for about 45 minutes into a workout, and they're the hormones that help burn fat. So you don't want to then go and do 5-hour sessions or anything like that. Okay, so you don't want to increase this part of the fat burning, okay, or this part of the raised metabolic period. What you actually want to do to make it the most efficient is even do less of this, but create more of that. Okay, so once you finished your workout, you're burning for a hell of a lot longer. Okay, and the longer you can burn, obviously, you know, the less you need to exercise, because you're going, you know, you're burning longer after exercise, so you don't need to do it as frequently. And, you know, the longer you can keep it going, the more fat you're going to burn when you're sleeping, when you're just, you know, chilling, watching the telly or whatever. Depending on which type of exercise you do, will depend on how long this actually lasts. Okay, I mean, on average, the kind of work that most of our clients do at Exercise and Fitness is metabolic resistance training, or, you know, it's supersets or high intensity work. It's stuff that, you know, it doesn't really last very long, maybe it's 20, 30, 40 minutes max, but it's stuff that really gets the heart rate going and, you know, really does create this spike in the metabolism. And also, because we create such a disruption, we elevate the metabolism so much, it also helps them prolong a fat burning period of, you know, it's been proven scientifically to be about 36 hours, roughly. But yeah, so anyway, that's good. But guys who are super busy, okay, some of my clients don't really have time to do 30-minute sessions or do 40-minute sessions, etc. And the guys who are a little bit more conditioned, they've been trained for maybe 4, 6, 8 weeks now, and they want to do an extra session, you can actually make it so much more efficient for yourself, okay, by training less, essentially, especially the guys who are busy. Now, I'm just going to rub this off. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so if you were, I'll give you 2 examples. If you were somebody who was super busy, okay, and you didn't have time to spend 20 minutes in the gym or 30 minutes even at home doing a bodyweight workout, but you wanted the same kind of effect as somebody who can spare 30 minutes, this is what you need to do. In the morning, say 10 o'clock or before 10 even, you want to create a spike by doing maybe a workout that can last as little as 3 or 4 minutes, okay, you'll create that. Although this time you might not elevate the metabolism as much as somebody who's maybe putting in a 30-minute shift in the gym, let's say, what you're then going to get is this, okay? And again, obviously it's going to come down nice and slow over the course of the next few hours, which is fine, so all this period you're burning fat again. But what you want to do to make the most out of your infrequent workouts and to make sure that it fits around your job or your busy lifestyle, before this comes back down to the rate, let's start saying like this, before this comes back down to level, okay, what would be a really good idea for you, especially if you were busy, was to throw in another 2-minute workout, okay, in the afternoon when you're getting from work. So let's have another one. This one's 4 minutes, this one's 2 minutes. And although this time we might not burn as fat, might not, elevate the metabolism as much as this one, which isn't as much as this one, don't worry. Because as this one's starting to come down, what we're then going to do, about 6 o'clock at night, just before your favourite program starts, we're going to do another one. We're just going to do sort of a superset of pull-ups and push-ups maybe. And then we're going to do this again. And then we're going to get that. And then, right into the next day, you're going to be burning fat. So, people say, well, I don't have time to work out, okay, and I can't burn fat because I don't have time. But, what they're missing out on is this very long period of afterburn or EPOC, okay? And this is pretty much equal to somebody who does one big session, okay, heavy session, they'll probably get the same amount of fat burning. So if you're super busy, don't use it as an excuse. I don't think you definitely can't lose fat quickly, because you can. All you need to do is do very, very short workouts that are quite intense, okay, just to make sure that you spike the metabolism long enough to keep it burning for a long time after. Again, this is very generalised. It'll probably be a lot longer than that, to be honest. But this is what you can do. Okay, now I'm going to put a few workouts in the post as examples. Anyway, just run this off again. If you were somebody who wasn't necessarily busy and you did have a little bit more time to work out, but you've been training maybe for 6 or 8 weeks, and you want to kind of kick on and you want to avoid the plateau, okay, and you want to make sure that you can do a little bit more because you're feeling fitter and you're more conditioned and you can cope with it, then what we'll do with you is, let's say in the morning you have your normal half-an-hour session and you're going to get the high one this one, okay, high one this time, and you're going to get this kind of thing again. Again, this probably comes down a lot slower than this, but just to keep things easy. Before we get to the rest of metabolic rate again, what would be really good for yourself to make the most out of your metabolism and to maximise your fat loss, okay, is to do this. 5-6 minute workout, even less even, okay, little spike, and again, down we go. Not very good at drawing. Oh, it wasn't my best thing. And anyway, so this time, just like the other guy, you've now got this massive period where your metabolism's burning higher than it would be normally, okay? So there's two things that you can do here to make the most of your metabolism. If you're currently doing, say, 3 or 4 workouts a week and they're lasting 30 or 40 minutes, and you're not getting a lot of fat loss out of them, or you've hit a plateau, what I would strongly recommend you do on the same day that you work out is to add in another little workout later on, okay? So this could be a 20-30 minute job, and this one could literally be 4 or 5 minutes, okay, all out intensity, and then you're going to create a much bigger afterburn or EPOC period, and you're going to burn fat for longer, okay, and obviously burn more calories and drop weight. If you're somebody who's super busy and you don't have time to do this or that, okay, then all you need to do, like I say, is create a little one in the morning, 2 or 3 minutes, maybe it's at lunchtime, even 150 push-ups, something like that. It doesn't have to be, when people think of training, it doesn't have to be a full-on session. It can be, as long as you elevate your metabolism enough by using the full body, like things like squats or lunges, jump squats, burpees, things that use a lot of joints and muscle groups, then you're going to be able to create this no problem, okay? So if you're somebody that's busy, a little workout in the morning, a little workout at lunchtime maybe, not enough to even get you too sweaty so you can go back to work without smelling, and then another one later on in the day, and you could end up with something like that. I know it's quite a lot of information to take in, but realistically, when you're coming to a point where you think you're plateauing and you're stopping losing fat, or you don't think you can burn any more calories, then it would be a really, really wise idea to look at how efficient your workouts are, and just basically look at how you can make it more efficient and maximise your metabolism. If there's any questions or you want to speak about it in more, by all means drop me a message or an email and I'll be more than happy to help you out. And I hope this really helps you understand a little bit more about metabolism and how to make the most of it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.